And welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okoro. Former ministers of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) have called for the resignation of the PDP chairman, Senator Ali Modu Sheriff. The former Minister of Special Duties and chairman of the PDP's Ministers Forum, Kabiru Turaki, said the meeting would take some critical decisions that would save the party from its leadership crisis. The meeting is a follow-up to a series of controversies that have trailed the emergence of Ali Modu Sheriff as the new national chairman of Nigeria's main opposition party, the PDP. Following widespread call for by some members of the People's Democratic Party for Ali Modu Sheriff to resign his position, the newly appointed PDP chairman says he will not succumb to the request. Sheriff was speaking after he officially resumed at the party secretariat in Abuja. Since his emergence as national chairman, there have been several criticisms about the manner of his emergence and also questions about his integrity. Speaking at the official handover ceremony, the PDP Deputy National Chairman Uche Secondus urged the new chairman to unite the party and work with the youths. The PDP chairman has also denied being the founder and sponsor of Islamic sect Boko Haram, saying he would take legal actions on those who have leveled such accusations against him without any evidence.
Your Excellency, I have to mention these two important events that will re-engineer and reposition our party, because the Constitution naturally is a guide that will make our party open up this party for the youth of this country, because the new direction in politics in our country is that the youth must participate fully, 100%. For us to move forward. The youth of this country, party must be returned to the youth. Party must be returned to the people. Party must be returned to the grassroots.
I was neither sponsor nor part of Boko Haram. And I want to take this chronologically. Yes, I was a governor of Borno State when the actual event of the Boko Haram erupted. And I was also part of the people at that time that brought Boko Haram menace to an end within 5 days. If you look at it very well, whenever they talk about Boko Haram, I don't talk on the pages of newspaper because nobody who is in position of authority, who knows the truth, have ever accused me. People who are charged to court, police that were affected were charged to court have pronounced its judgment. No court of competent jurisdiction in this country has ever linked me to Boko Haram. It is the fiction and the imagination of the writers who are, for whatever reason, decided that they must mention my name. People like Fanika, they will not go scot-free this time around. I am the Australian that you are talking about. My lawyer, Olani Picon, wrote to the Australian ambassador. The man that purported to be the Australian has no even address. He was paid to do a hatchet job by his fellow masters. The SSS has come to tell the whole world that it was organized, and they have arrested those that claim to be Boko Haram. They were paraded on the television of this country to the scene of everybody. But the writers choose not to look at that. You see, media is very powerful. Nobody fights the media and get away. But I believe Now that I am given a responsibility, I am forced to talk, and I will talk. I will tell you that Ali Sharif is nothing to do with Boko Haram.
Still on Ali Modu Sheriff, former aviation minister Femi Kayode has reacted to his threat after the PDP chairman vowed to seek legal actions for allegations he funded and sponsored Boko Haram. Speaking to journalists on the sidelines of the PDP former ministers forum in Abuja on Tuesday, Femi Kayode questioned the nationality of the PDP chairman and his elections as leader of the party.
Who is Ali Modu Sharif? Is he a Nigerian or is he a Chadian? Or is he both? That's the first thing. The second thing is that you come in as national chairman or claim you're national chairman, that you want to move a party forward, and the first thing you do is start issuing threats, which I think is unacceptable, and nobody is intimidated. The fact of the matter is this: he wants to set Nigeria on fire. He also wants to set the PDP on fire. And that fire will consume him and him alone. As regards his personal threats to me, I am more than ready for him. I'm waiting for him. And I assure him that unlike anybody that he has ever met before in his life, he will meet a resistance that he never banked on. I'm not intimidated. I cannot be intimidated. And I'll quote Shakespeare for you. In Macbeth, Macbeth himself said something which I've always found very interesting. It's a beautiful line in Macbeth. He said, "I shall fight until the flesh is hacked from my bones, and damn be he who first cries hold." Damn be he who first cries hold in this issue. We will remove him. We will ensure that he does not remain national chairman because he has divided this party. This meeting we're having today will take a decision. I won't preempt that decision, but once we've taken our decision, we will know what to do. And I sincerely hope that all the other stakeholders in this party recognize the fact that this man is divisive, he is unacceptable, he is unfit, and he's somebody that, none of us have any respect for, and he cannot move our party forward.
Nigeria and Saudi Arabia say they are committed to a stable oil market and effort to support the price rebound. President Muhammad Buhari is currently in Riyadh to discuss with Saudi Arabia's King Salman ways to stabilize crude oil prices. Spokesman for Nigeria's President Garba Shehu said on Tuesday that the two leaders accepted the fact that their economies were tied to oil, and so it was important to make the oil market stable. The two leaders, however, did not elaborate on plans they intend to adopt in raising the oil price. Nigeria's main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, says during its 16-year reign, it was able to preserve peace in the country. Speaking at the opening ceremony of the PDP Ministers' Forum meeting, Chairman of the Forum, Kabir Turaki, said this feat has lingered because the party strongly believes that power belongs to the people. He noted that even while people had predicted the disintegration of Nigeria in 2015, the party still kept peace and all Nigerians together.
We made Nigeria's economy not only one of the fastest growing economies in the world, but we made it #1 in Africa. That is a legacy. Nigeria under PDP leadership became the third most sought after investors haven in the world, coming only after China and Qatar. That is our legacy. We strengthened the economy and strengthened the banking sector. Today, Nigerian banks are strong to weather any storm, and they have become global practitioners. That is part of our legacy. We've been able to ensure that there was a lot of investment that was coming in both from within and from outside. Nigerians who were in diaspora had had their interest rekindled and their faith strengthened in Nigeria. Those of them who thought there was nothing good in Nigeria and had checked out had gradually come back and brought their hard-earned money to invest in this country. That was our legacy. We've been able to sustain an exchange regime that was very stable. For over 14 years, the dollar gravitated between 186 and 196. That is part of the PDP legacy. We've moved agriculture from a means for subsistence living to become a business. Today, Nigerian farmers have not only expanded the frontiers, but indeed they are wallowing in affluence. That is part of the PDP legacy.
A federal high court sitting in Lagos on Tuesday threw out a suit over the hike in electricity tariff for lack of merit. Presiding Judge Justice Mohammed Idris held that contrary to the claims of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NEC), there is no indication that an appeal has been listed for hearing at an appeal court. The NEC had asked the court to stay proceedings until its appeal against two previous rulings are heard and determined by the appeal court. The application was, however, dismissed and a cost of 10,000 naira was awarded in favor of the plaintiff, a Lagos-based lawyer identified as Toluwani Yemi Adebiyi. The National Human Rights Commission has set up a special investigative panel to look into petitions and complaints of oil spillage and environmental ruin by international oil companies in Nigeria. The action comes as part of efforts to finding a lasting solution to the age-long problem of oil spillage and little or no compensation paid to the affected people in the oil-rich Niger Delta region in the country. The executive secretary of the commission, Professor Bem Angwe, said that along with the findings of the panel, previous reports and recommendations made over environmental degradation in the country would be implemented. The Nigerian Navy has rescued a hijacked vessel off the coast of Sao Tome and Principe. Pirates hijacked the vessel with 18 crew on board on February 11th in the waters of Ivory Coast and sailed towards Sao Tome and Principe before the Nigerian Navy intervened and rescued the ship, but that was not before some of the pirates made away with two crew members. Among the crew on board the ship were 11 Indians, 2 Pakistanis, 2 Ghanaians, 1 Chinese, 1 Korean, and 1 Sudanese. TV360's Deji Badamosi has more on that story.
Slowly and steadily, 2 tugboats carefully guided the vessel onto the Nigerian Navy dockyard in Lagos. The Saudi Arabian-owned oil tanker MT Maximus was hijacked February 11th off the coast of Côte d'Ivoire as it transited to Lomé, Togo, with its cargo of 4,700 metric tons of AGO, otherwise known as diesel. The pirates then renamed the ship MT Elvis 5 and removed its radar to conceal its location. Rear Admiral Henry Babalola, who coordinated the rescue operation, said the Nigerian Navy got involved when the ship sailed towards Nigerian waters.
This operation actually started on Thursday off the coast of Togo, and an American warship was at sea and they were relaying this to Togo. And from there, like we said, they moved to Ghana. And the Ghana Navy too was on patrol. They told us don't tell them. They sold a decoy. They were moving towards our coast, and all of a sudden they made a detour and headed southwards. That was where we scrambled in Sokpabana and another sister ship in Sagbama. And as they were going, we believed that fine, maybe they might be battle weary, fatigued or something. We prepared, and then a Centenary third ship that is, as we speak, is on standby. And when we got to the objective, we were directing the operation from Naval Headquarters in Abuja.
After a tense standoff on the waters of Sao Tome and Principe, the naval personnel were able to board the vessel. One of the pirates was gunned down, while 6 others were arrested.
The Nigerian Navy, because we have the reach and the capability, we are charged with patrolling the common sea corridor between Nigeria and Sao Tome and Principe. And all of these are ensured in Nigeria Sao Tome Joint Development Zone Authority. So that was what we did. And we asked them, they were aware of what we were doing. And then we also informed contiguous navies in the areas before we did that. And then the first thing this vessel did was that when we stopped to challenge, they said, no, we are in international waters. And our strong point was the fact that we had a JDZ agreement with Sao Tome and Principe, which maybe was unknown to them. And that was what we did at them. It's true. The idea is that anything happening in another country's maritime space will invariably have repercussions on us. Some 5-10 years ago, our waters were extremely unsafe and everything. So we carried out some deliberate efforts. And what happened? The criminals relocated to Benin Republic. He took a Nigeria-Benin joint agreement to have Operation Prosperity. And what we are witnessing today, they have moved to Togo, they are moving to Ghana. And we fold our arms because the common sea corridor where we import and export our goods are via these seas. And if we don't make deliberate efforts to secure these seas, the seas will become very, very dangerous to do business with. There will be more in terms of insurance premium. At the end of the day, invariably, this extra cost will be transferred to the consumers.
After the body of the dead pirate was loaded onto a waiting ambulance, the crew emerged and walked onto the deck. They were greeted by senior naval personnel and officials from the various embassies. The captain of the ship was full of praises for the Nigerian Navy over the rescue. He also appealed for the rescue of the 2 crew members taken hostage by some of the pirates.
One is Indian and another one is Pakistani nationals. So they disembark at sea around 300 miles from Lagos. They have no idea where the direction, along with around 8 pirates in a wooden boat. So now really I request the authorities. Rest everything is in our face. You can read what you feel. It is in our face. Whatever the internal injuries is, internal mind, everything is in our face. And I thank Nigerian Navy, a man who told me when the bullet was passing just 5-10 mm on top of my head, he said, I'll give my life for you, Captain. Don't worry. Nobody in the world will speak such words. I don't have tears to come. I really salute the sailors and the officers who come to us.
The arrested pirates have now been handed over for prosecution while the search for the seamen taking hostage continues. The Nigerian Navy says it is sending out a clear message that not only is the Gulf of Guinea safe, but that it is ready to act whenever asked to do so, even when such actions might require it to go beyond the territorial waters of the country, as has happened in this case. DJ Bademasi, TV360 Nigeria, Lagos.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC has arrested the former Minister of Interior Abba Moro in connection with the 2014 immigration recruitment scam. The Immigration Service under his watch organized a recruitment exercise nationwide which led to a stampede and the death of many Nigerians. Over 200,000 job seekers scrambled through a poorly organized barricade at different stadiums across the country. The Jonathan government received scathing criticisms for the incident, but it failed to discipline the officials behind the unfortunate exercise. Some of the charges against Monroe and his colleagues include obtaining by false pretense, procurement offences, corrupt practices, and money laundering. He is expected to be arraigned in court as soon as the EFCC concludes its investigations. The Lagos State government on Tuesday announced it has concluded plans to establish the first ever high-powered DNA forensic laboratory in Nigeria. A statement issued in Lagos said the establishment of the forensic lab was part of the state's commitment to criminal justice sector reforms. The State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Adeniji Kazeem, hailed the establishment of the center, saying it would help fight all forms of criminality in the state. The Nigerian Police Force has marked 100 days of setting up its Complaints Response Unit. Addressing a press conference to commemorate the launch of the Complaint Unit, police spokesperson Olabisi Kolawole said that the unit operates a 24-hour call center where first point of contact officers are deployed to receive complaints. According to the Nigerian Police Force, the Complaints Response Unit is the first of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa and is meant to handle complaints on police inappropriate behaviors.
You will recall that the Inspector General of Police, IGP Solomon Arase, FDC NPM, on Friday the 13th of November 2015, commissioned the Nigerian Police Force Complaint Response Unit, CRU, a community-oriented complaint management system tasked to deploy multi-platform reporting mechanism through which citizens' complaints, concerns, and queries regarding to policing activities. the complaints are addressed in real time. The NPF CRU is the first of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa. For police officers, this is not to be construed as demonizing the demonization of police activities, but a wake-up call to key into international best practices and reflect strongly the change agenda and policing policy of the Inspector General of Police. Thus, beyond the feedback on police inappropriate behavior, is the assurance of police commitment to prompt, efficient, and public-oriented service delivery to the different segments of our society. Complaints are collected, complaints are collated and analyzed for appropriate recommendation to the IGP. The CRU operates a 24-hour call center where the first point of contact officers are deployed to receive complaints through dedicated social media platforms. The CRU operations have led to disciplinary actions against officers up to the rank of Assistant Commissioner of Police. Several officers have been redeployed from duty posts, including a total redeployment of a DPU by the police command. Police officers were dismissed for professional misconduct, and junior officers are facing serious disciplinary actions for professional misconduct.
Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed has described China as one of the most important partners in Nigeria's quest to develop its infrastructure. Speaking while receiving the ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Nigeria, Ambassador Gu Jiaoji, who paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja on Tuesday, the minister said this was a clear reason why Nigerian government holds its relationship with China very dear. The minister also called for more partnership between the two in the area of tourism, saying China has done well, especially in the area of domestic tourism. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll look at business and international stories. Stay tuned.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching the Funny White Man Show, which is the biggest, the brightest, and the most entertaining show in Africa.
Funny white man, funny white man, funny white man, but this way you talk, it's too much. Give me 5,000 man, that's you. It's too much. So you get it like, when she move along the street, yeah, me should like there, I'm going girl. You know, my own people, actually. Yeah, fine, it's fun. I enjoy it. And I'm one of those very few, I'm forever taking it personal. I will listen 160 million Nigerians are corrupt. How? My brother, I'm looking for you.
Yeah, but it's a growth, and this is the time to build business and know the pitfalls and know what to do and what not to do. But there are months where you get business and months.
You know how we do, how we train. We did the way you did
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching Trending Matters on the Funny White Man Show. Of course, we will bring you trending issues just to entertain and tickle your fancy.
Welcome back. You're watching TV360 News now. Nigeria's Naira firmed on the parallel market against the US dollar for the second day. On Tuesday, the Naira firmed to 364 away from Monday's quote of 375 against the dollar on the unofficial market. This comes days after President Muhammadu Buhari rejected a devaluation of the currency, which has been hit hard by a fall in oil prices. The official interbank rate remained at 197 to the dollar at the close of trading on Tuesday. The Retail Council of Nigeria has appealed to the CBN to relax its foreign exchange policy on imported items to sustain the growth of the retail sector. The council said that sustainability of the retail sector was being threatened by stringent policies of the Apex Bank. The CBN had embargoed the sourcing of forex officially for 41 imported items. The governor of the CBN, Godwin Emefiele, said the action became necessary to stimulate domestic production in the country. All futures fell more than 2% on Tuesday, eroding some of the previous day's gains over doubts a potential production freeze will have any impact on a supply glut. Big oil exporters Saudi Arabia and Russia have proposed to freeze output at January levels, which were near record highs, only if other producers will do the same. Also, Iran, now free of Western sanctions that hurt its crude oil trade, is seen unlikely to agree to an output cut. Brent crude was down 73 cents at $34 a barrel, while U.S. crude futures fell 74 cents to $32.63 a barrel. An estimated 1 million to 2 million barrels of oil are being produced daily in excess of demand. Iraq's oil minister Adel Abdul Mahdi said talks would continue between OPEC and non-OPEC members to find ways to restore normal oil prices after a meeting in Tehran on Wednesday. Burundi is to hold political talks to try to end months of violence, President Pierre Nkurunziza said on Tuesday after meeting UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon. Ban said Nkurunziza had also promised to lift media sanctions. The presidency said 2,000 prisoners will be freed, although the opposition was skeptical, doubting whether it would include its own supporters. More than 400 people have been killed since April, when Nkurunziza said he would run for a third term, triggering street protests and a coup attempt. An Egyptian military court has sentenced a 3-year-old boy to life in prison in a case of mistaken identity. The court said the toddler, identified as Ahmed Mansour Kourani, allegedly committed the crime when he was 16 months old. The bizarre case of mistaken identity has prompted an outcry across the country. A military court last week found Kourani and 115 others guilty of 3 public and killing and sabotaging public and private property. The crimes allegedly took place during a January 2014 protest by supporters of overthrown President Mohamed Morsi, according to a statement by the Egyptian military. Spokesperson called Mohamed Samir said the court intended to sentence a 16-year-old boy with a similar name, but instead sentenced the 3-year-old. Moving on to sports, a federal high court in Abuja has ruled against the former president of the Nigerian Football Federation, Sani Lulu, in the corruption charges brought against him by former NFF First Vice President Taiwo Ogunjobi and 2 others. Those involved in the case are Amanze Uchebulam, former First Vice President of NFF, and Bolaji Ojoba, NFF former Secretary General. They were accused of siphoning huge sums of money meant to help the Eagles prepare for the 2010 World Cup. They were also accused of flouting due process in the purchase of 2 Marco Polo buses for the national teams, as well as sharing 185 million naira among state chairmen of the NFA in their futile bid to frustrate their ouster from the football house. The Athletics Federation of Nigeria has invited 16 athletes to camp in preparation of the Olympic Games this summer in Rio, Brazil. According to a statement by the AFN, the 16 athletes who were invited based on their performance at last week's over-distance competition will begin training in Port Harcourt later this month. Top on the list of invited athletes are the men's national 200-meter champion Odile Tega and Ese Brume, reigning Commonwealth and African long jump champion. FIFA presidential candidate Prince Ali has asked the Court of Arbitration for Sports to postpone the elections to select Sepp Blatter's successor. The Jordan Prince also asked for reassurance over the voting procedures as the governing body prepares to elect its 9th president on Friday. A statement by his lawyer says Prince Ali took the matter to the CAS on Monday, and the 40-year-old already plans to test FIFA's resistance to the transparent booths by having some of them sent to Zurich prior to Friday's elections. Well, we've come to the end of news now. We thank you very much for watching. I am Thelma Okoro.